I'll get to you in a second. I just need to share this out and make sure that things start. Once I know that things are starting up, then I'm gonna bring you up. All right. All right, cool. So things are started up there. All right, cool. So I just have to make sure things were started up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring you up. Send you a breezy.
Oh, my bad, boss. I was tapping. I didn't realize I hit request.
Oh, okay. Not a problem. I appreciate you.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Go ahead and keep tapping that screen. Let's go ahead and get some folks in. Yeah, hopefully the YouTube works better today because yesterday that lag was bad yesterday. It was a bad lag and it really affected the views yesterday. So hopefully today we're going to be okay. Hopefully today will be all right. If you don't have a God, then based, that's great. That's amazing because I don't have one either. Let me just make sure that this is all. Yeah, it's all public. Is this public? Yeah, it's public as well. All right, just making sure that everything here is copacetic. Long live the Buddha. It's funny. All right, just making sure everything over here is copacetic. Y'all go ahead and keep tapping that screen, and we're gonna make sure that we get some guests in here. I think I'm gonna start my Twitch up in a second. All right, let me get my Twitch up in a second. Oh yeah, I know. My mods say that they're going to be in a second. Just a little busy for, the holiday. I know that right now Easter it's a little busy right now. So, but Easter holiday is a little busy right now. All right. So if you are watching over from the Deconstruction Junction, it is pinned in the comments of where you can join. If you are watching over on the Volsi Thoughts, I'm going to go ahead and put in where you can join right now. Go ahead and tap that screen, guys, so people who this can get out there. Tap that screen, y'all, so this could get out there. Let me go ahead and go to my personal channel. All right, so if you're watching from Deconstruction Junction, tap on that link and you could join me. If you are watching from my channel, Volsi Thoughts, the link is now it's going to be pinned in just a second. It's going to be pinned in just a second. If you're watching from there, okay, cool. All right, it is pinned now. All right, and if you're watching from the Black Atheist Coalition, we are going to go ahead and pin the link there as well. So what's up, y'all? Welcome to Bring That Smoke. Welcome to my live. Go ahead and tap that screen. We already got 2,000 people in here. If I see that it's going to take some time to get some folks in here, I might hit a restart. The YouTube was still going, but over here on TikTok, we're going to go ahead and restart it because, TikTok does that sometimes. It likes you to, for some reason, like if you don't get a whole bunch of folks in the first like 30 seconds, it's going to start throttling the live for some reason. It's really weird. But y'all go ahead and keep tapping that screen. Welcome everybody who's watching. If you're watching from Volsi Thoughts, if you're watching from the Black Atheist Coalition, if you are watching from the Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate everyone who's watching, everyone who's there. All right, y'all keep tapping that screen. Like I said, if you want to talk about what I have on the board, go ahead and come on up and we can have that discussion. If you can give me a good reason to believe in a God. Looks like Joey was trolling there. Man said because I said so. It's a little funny, but yeah. If you like to talk about it, if you'd like to see what I have on the, if you like to talk about what I have on the board, go ahead and come on through, and I will appreciate any type of discussion. We're just gonna go ahead and wait for a second, wait for somebody to come in. Right now, I don't have the phone number on top of the screen. I don't have the phone number right now on top of the screen. That's not gonna return probably until next week. All right. So for the people who asked me over on Deconstruction Junction, he said, I'm guessing you're an atheist, agnostic, or what? Yeah, I am an agnostic atheist. And the other question is, are you looking to believe in a God or want to debate if any God exists for you to believe in? Yeah, I mean, both. Yeah, I think we should. I'm not looking for reason to believe, right? I think you should believe when there's good evidence of a claim. When there's good evidence of a claim, when there's good reasoning, I think you should believe. But other than that, I don't see a reason. You should always have a reason to believe, and I think evidence is the best reason. And if we wanted to, if any exists, yeah, sure, we can do that. I do that. We do that all the time. This is the type of stage that this is. But like I said, the link is pinned. You can click on the link. You can click on the link, and then you can go ahead and talk about that, ad nauseum. Hey, Jerry, go ahead and click on the guest box and come on up so we can talk about it, because going back and forth in the comments is not something that I like to do. Your question was, where does energy come from? Energy is a property of a system. That's like asking, where does blue come from? Like it's just what we explain of it's an electromagnetic, not electromagnetic, but it's basically a phenomena that hits our eyes, of light that hits our eyes, and we label it as blue. I mean, it's just a property. It's not really a thing onto itself. But go ahead and hit the guest button, Jerry, and then we could talk about that, because I can't invite you up for some reason. Yeah, I can't invite you up, Jerry. So go ahead and hit that guest button, and then we can go ahead and talk about it more at length. Jesus was but if y'all could see the comments over on my YouTube, they're always so hilarious. I've never understood them. Like, what one of them is actually a racist non-believer. He says Bible says Jesus was black. If that's not enough to know it's fake. So there's no way that the Savior can be black, y'all. That's kind of crazy. What's going on, Cootie Queen? What's going on over there? Yo, go ahead and tap that screen. We're just waiting for someone to come on in. We're just waiting for any guests. If you are watching from any of the YouTubes, if you're watching from any of the YouTubes, I did go ahead and pin the link. So you can just click, tap on that link, and you could go ahead and come on up, and we'll definitely have a talk about it if you are willing to. If I'm live here for a moment, and if we can't get much people to come in, then I will go ahead and hit a restart. All right, so Katie over on the Deconstruction Junction. Like I said, I'm not. It's difficult for me to read comments. But, well, it's not difficult for me to read. It's reading comments back and forth is gonna waste our time. You know what I mean? So just go ahead and click on that link that I pinned, and then we can go ahead and talk. All right, let's see who would like to come up.
Hello.
All right, how's it? 1 second. All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, great. Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Name is my husband.
Yes.
Okay, interesting name. All right, husband. Are you at least 18? And did you want to talk about what I have on the board?
Well, yes. I just wondered, what a reason would be for anyone to believe in any God aside from being a non-believer. And so I heard you saying that you were having trouble getting people to come on your panel, and I have to wonder if there's more people who are non-believers than there are believers nowadays.
That could be the case. There was yesterday where I did get a whole bunch of believers to come up, but sometimes on some days it's slower. It's slower on some days than others, and that's because for whatever reason. So we just gotta wait.
Do you notice it to be about every other day?
Yeah, actually, almost every other day it is like that, where you're just waiting around for people to speak. Even like larger creators like Deconstruction Zone, Justin. Sometimes it's hard for him to get people. Sometimes another one, Joel reads the Bible. Yeah, same thing with him too. Sometimes it's just hard for him to get people. It's kind of I don't know. I don't know what it is. It could be that there are more non-believers than believers on TikTok, or it could just be the time. Folks folks are either on like they're in church or something like that. Sometimes that happens too.
Well, okay, so how often are you met with, how do I say this? I don't want to offend anybody. How often are you met with the believers of the religions in places where the United States does not have really good relations with the people, say in Iraq and Iran? Do you come across them often? Because I come across them all the time, and they are mean. They are mean-spirited, and have nothing nice to say about women at all, or the United States.
Yeah, I've come across Muslims before. Because I do a live on Sundays with Black Atheist Rants, and we have our live is all about that. Black people shouldn't be Christian or Muslim, So we definitely get Muslims whenever I do those lives. Yeah, and they don't have kind things to say about the United States, and I don't even have a problem with that either, because the United States has screwed with their countries, so. Yeah, I have an issue with that. But you do get the ones that have issues with misogyny, of course. So it's always.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just wondered if you knew they were protesting today. That Iraq is protesting, and they want the United States to leave. So they want to be a sovereign nation now, without any help from the United States and Israel, and they want their own nation. And I believe the United States had said that about 2 or 3 years ago, when General Mark Milley was still active duty before he retired. And all these generals were saying they have a right to defend their own nation if they want to do those things. And it sounds like they've always given them the right to be able to defend their nation. Now, what they're referencing, though, is how they're going to pay for passage in the Strait of Hormuz, because there's a fee, and when they don't have a leadership and they don't have money and currency, they're not sure how they're going to get supplies to their country. So it's mostly males in there right now. The video I saw today is mostly men. And so, but some of this, it really seems to tie in with the Bible. Some of this modern day stuff, even, people talking about the scriptures and things, and the wars in the Middle East, it really seems to tie in with the Bible a lot too.
Not really, because there's always been conflict in that region, but just because there's always been conflict doesn't mean necessarily that the Bible is now true.
Well, I never, the Bible, I've always thought of more as a journal of the past 2,000 years of a repetition of the wars that's taking place. And
that's basically what it is.
I can see that, as a history. And see, there's so many things, when they reference kings and lords, it's like, well, yeah, they used to call kings lords, and the British reference those words, and we have so much mixed usage of the wording that it's kind of like, well, this has just gone around the world, I don't know how many times, and then how long before people start fighting over Antarctica and having wars over that?
Yeah, if things in the world don't get better and we start running out of water, I do think that probably in 150 years, people will start fighting over Antarctica, because that's the largest source of fresh water that we got, So humanity just needs to get better. Humanity just needs to progress past the the mindset of scarcity. You know what I mean? So that's one of those things. But husband, if you if that was it, I want to go ahead and move on to people who may disagree with me.
Okay.
Was there anything else? Okay, not a problem.
All right. Thank you.
Not a problem. I do appreciate you. All right, guys, keep tapping that screen. Keep tapping that screen. I appreciate everybody's watching. If you're watching over from the Volsey Thoughts, the Black Atheist Coalition, or the Deconstruction Junction, again, if you're over on Deconstruction Junction, the comments, I'm not going to be reading them because I'm focused on over here. So if you would like to talk, go ahead and click on that link. I don't have the call-in number yet, but that should be solved by tomorrow. All right, we're going to go ahead and move to our next guest, Clorox. How's it going, Clorox?
It's going good.
All right. Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Maybe.
All right, cool. What's that good reason?
Allah is the only one and true God.
I appreciate the money gun. You said Allah is the only true God. How do you know that?
He blessed me.
Allah blessed you. All right, cool. So you trolling me?
No, I'm chosen by God.
Chosen by God. All right, cool. You trolling me?
Why would I be trolling you?
Because I actually don't believe that you're a Muslim.
Why not?
Just the way that you're coming off. I've had experience with speaking to Muslims before, and they never actually say that Allah chose them. They just say I should believe in God because Islam is the one true religion, or some other stuff like that.
No, I just think that all the infidels need to burn.
Yeah, you see, most Muslims don't even say that. So which branch are you?
Al Qaeda.
Okay, you see, it's not even a branch of Islam. All right, cool. So you're trolling me. All right, so I do appreciate you.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, sure. All right, I do appreciate everybody being here. Right now, once again, I'm only taking opposition, but I do appreciate y'all. All right, so who else wants to come up? Hey, Scooby Doo, if you'd like to come on up, go ahead and come on up as well. And we have Haley Ramirez. Haley, go ahead and come on up and we'll talk about that. And Scooby-Doo, go ahead and click on that. Okay, hey Haley, how's it going?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm all right. Are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Yeah, I'm 30. And so like I was saying in the comments, it's not my job to tell anybody to believe in anything. I think that is self-exploration and what you believe and what faith what faith talks to you more and what you understand more of. I was raised Catholic. However, different gospel with different religions have really gotten to me, and speak deeper to me. And yes, I can watch a bunch of YouTube videos, a bunch of TikToks about why that faith is more important. But at the end of the day, it's up to that person. And
yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, all that's good and well, right? I think I could agree with that. It's always up to the person. The reason why we talk about this, things like these, like besides entertainment, these are things. These are just fun to talk about. Is the fact that it actually has an effect on our society. Like America right now is pushing or at least a lot of the people who are in power are pushing Christian nationalism, and I think theocracies will be a bad thing for us. Yeah, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what type of theocracy it is. Every single theocracy that has come into existence has always denigrated human rights. Even Buddhist ones, I mean, over in Myanmar right now, they're committing a genocide on the Rohingya population, and that population is Muslim. You know what I mean? So even Buddhist theocracies automatically, denigrate human life or violate human rights. You see what I'm saying? So I always think that theocracies are bad for us. And since we're living in a country where religion plays such a large role and is playing a large role within governments right now, that's the reason why we talk about it. So if we can go ahead and put some critical thinking into this type of discussion on why should we even believe in the first place, that's the goal of why we do this. Scooby-Doo, go ahead and click on that link and come on up, please, the guest button, if you'd like to talk to me. But yeah, you see what I'm saying, Haley?
No, yeah, absolutely, and I agree with you. 100%. I was just saying from like reading the prompt from my perspective and what I was getting out of it. So now that you say more about it, then yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying, and I don't agree with what's going on.
All right, great. So what do you think is a good reason to believe in a God? You there, Haley?
Yeah, sorry, hold on, my kids. Sorry, 1 second.
Not a problem. Kids come first. All right, y'all. I do appreciate y'all for being here. Once again, go ahead and click on that link. I mean, not click on the link. Click on the guest button if you'd like to come up and speak to me. I do appreciate y'all. Scooby-Doo, I'm going to get to you next. And after Scooby, we're going to get to Christopher. Christopher, I'm going to get to you right after Scooby. Unfortunately, you kind of lost your place, but we'll get to you. We'll get everything started. We're just waiting for Haley to get settled with the kiddos, and then we'll go ahead and keep the discussion going. All right, y'all. So once again, appreciate everybody being here. Tap that screen. If you're watching over from the Deconstruction Junction, again, if you're making a whole bunch of comments, I'm not going to see them, y'all. All right, so y'all can go ahead and call me stupid, call me bald. I know your mama likes me bald though. And if you would like to, actually discuss, if you're dropping reasons on why you think it's a good reason to believe in a God, there is a link that is pinned to the top of the comments. And you can go ahead and join here over on TikTok. I don't have the call-in number right now. I'm getting another piece that I need. Hopefully that resolves the problem and we'll be able to talk back and forth from then on. Haley, are you good?
Yeah, sorry.
All right, cool. Not a problem. All right, what do you think is a good reason to believe in a God?
Like I said before, it's self-satisfactory and self-values and morals.
Can I have those without believing in a God?
Other than that, then I don't.
Yeah, can I have those without believing?
I'm sorry?
Can I have exactly what you just said without believing in a God?
Yes, you can.
Right. So, yeah. So that was one of the reasons why I kind of, not even kind of, that was actually one of the reasons why I concluded that there's really no good reason, because I found out that I can have morals, purpose, drive, all that without believing in a God. So if I can have morals, purpose, drive, a way to live my life that doesn't harm anybody else without believing, then there's really no good reason to keep believing on that just because of that. You see what I mean?
Right. Yeah, no, yeah. And like I said before, when I was answering strictly just based off the prompt and my own, thoughts, until you elaborated more, which I agreed with you, like, what's going on now is just absolute nonsense. I didn't understand where the prompt was coming from. So I'm reading the comments.
No, don't read the comments. Just talk to me. Yeah. So yeah, these lives are always just about good faith discussions, seeing what we can get to, and debates happen. I mean, I don't mind debating, but it's always about those type of discussions and thinking critically. But yeah, I think we're all in agreement there. But hey, I do appreciate you being up here, Haley. We're gonna go ahead and talk to Scooby-Doo now. Okay. All right. Appreciate you being up here, Haley. W for Haley in the chat. I appreciate anybody who's willing to have a good faith conversation. Scooby-Doo, how's it going, Scooby-Doo? Are you at least 18? And why do you think I should worship Jesus?
Yes, I am, and hope you're doing well as well. I don't know. I kind of just wanted to pick your brain on more so why you don't.
There's no evidence that he was the son of a super wizard or that he rose from the dead.
What do you need to provide evidence? Like, what is your basis of evidence, and what constitutes as evidence for you?
Something that's demonstrable, testable, repeatable, something that we can see through models, like any type of mathematic proof, or even if we can show that a person was clinically brain dead for 3 days and then came back, if that's ever happened in history and it's verified. since this has never been the case, there's no reason to believe that he did.
Do you believe, I'm guessing you've heard of it, but what's your take on, I've seen it gain a lot of popularity recently, the Shroud of Turin?
Yeah, so the Shroud of Turin is something from the Middle Ages. There was a study that said that it came from the 3rd century. However, the people who did that study did not use the scientific method to actually do date the shroud, right? They use methods that are not accepted by the scientific community. So that kind of puts into doubt what exactly they were able to measure. See what I mean? Those who do follow the accepted scientific method, they always date it back to the Middle Ages.
I think I know there was one piece about it that they got something wrong as well with the specific piece of the fragment they were testing was actually one of the fixed pieces of the garment that I believe it was nuns or sisters re-sewed, actually, that once it was torn or something like that. And that's kind of where it dated back to that later time period. But something that I saw recently about the shroud that actually was kind of insane to me was the radiology.
I think you got a call. You there, Scooby? Scooby, I think you got a call. You there? We're going to wait Scooby to come back. Charlie, are you there, Charlie? Is that your name? Christopher. I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry, brother. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Christopher. Are you at least 18? Oh, there's Scooby. Scooby's back. All right, give me a second, Christopher.
I think it was because my phone was ringing.
Yeah, it was ringing. I didn't hear a word you said. All right, so
where did I cut out?
You cut out at the piece that they tested was sewed together by a nun.
Oh, okay.
They have tested other pieces, and it verifies that it's back to the 13th century.
Well, yeah. What I was trying to get with what I was actually saying, I kind of switched gears there. I saw some scientists doing studies with the physics of it and the radiology and kind of like X-ray studies on it, basically, and kind of using that science and how it was a 1 in astronomical number of which it basically was a nuclear event with the light. Like, I'm not the scientist here, but it was a nuclear event that happened like tenths of a second as well. And so they were saying that the image produced on the garment was like thinner than a strand of hair, but it's a 3D image still. And if it was even more powerful, it would have penetrated through the garment or ripped it. And if it was like anything less, then it wouldn't leave an image. And I could probably pull up the study, but I thought that was crazy and how just that it left an image. And I thought they dated it back. Like, I think there's science behind that alone to prove that to be real.
Yeah, I heard of this too, right? And I think that was also debunked. Give me a second. Let me just look at my sources here.
Yeah, and I'll just preface too. Like, I personally don't need that much physical evidence to follow my faith and believe in Jesus Christ as God. I saw some other things today I'm coming across more and more evidence already as I'm a Christian and a Catholic. So that's like helpful and like kind of just more fun stuff per se, I guess you could add to it. Like, I was watching a documentary this morning about ancient mosaics and how scientists, it was that documentary, it was called The Mosaic Church. Bear Grylls narrates it.
Okay. Okay. Actually, yeah, they did look at this nuclear thing. It's not accepted by a scientific community at all. The person who even did it wasn't even a nuclear scientist.
So what do you say about scientists who say they're atheists, but they still believe Jesus Christ was a real person, though?
Yeah, I think Jesus Christ was a real person. That doesn't
okay.
mean
At least we can get to that. At least, okay. Because a lot of people who are still atheists or don't believe in anything, they don't even accept Jesus was a real person. I mean, he's one of the most has some of the most evidence to complete and come to the conclusion that he was a real person. And I think
when it comes
to
Jesus, right? There are people who accept that he was a real person. Like mythicists are more on the other end. The consensus around historians now is that this was likely a real guy because Paul met James, the brother of Jesus, and Paul definitely existed. So it's one of those things where, and not only that, I think one of Tacitus's writings that mention Jesus, that's basically the best that we have. Now, I don't have an issue with Jesus being a singular guy or multiple people amalgamated into one. That's likely what happened with King Arthur, right? Because King Arthur is not a real person in history. It was likely several people amalgamated into one. So that could be the story of Jesus too. I don't have a really issue with that. The question comes into, did he have,
divinity?
Superpowers? Yeah.
Do you have a take then on the Dead Sea Scrolls and some of those prophecies being fulfilled? Because those have been, like I said, like the documentary I was watching, how he was pierced for our transgressions and for all of our, like Isaiah 53, I think that's one of a common one, especially at this time of the year with Holy Week and Easter season.
Isaiah 53 is about Israel.
You think so?
Yeah, because 52 is about Israel, 51 is about Israel, 48 is about Israel. Why would 53 now become Israel? Now become about something else? Because throughout the entire Isaiah, they mention the servant. Was it the servant Jacob or someone else? I think it was the servant Jacob, right? And Jacob is supposed to be representative of Israel. So all throughout Isaiah is talking about the servant, Jacob, the servant Jacob, and then all of a sudden at 53 is supposed to be somebody else. Like it's by the time you get to 53, the writer expects you to understand that the servant they're talking about is Israel.
I mean, I could rebuttal on a lot of these, but I'm just trying to more so pick your brain. What about, I know the one, I think it was Daniel, and it might have been another, it might have been Daniel and Isaiah who kind of predicted this, but it was almost like Daniel, I know Daniel for sure. There's writings that his prophecies were almost to the day that Jesus rode into Jerusalem on the donkey. Are you familiar with that?
I mean, yeah, but I also fulfilled that prophecy when I was 3.
What? What do you mean?
Yeah, because I rode a donkey when I was 3 at my daycare center. And guess what my daycare center was called? Jerusalem. My daycare center was called Jerusalem. So according to that, I fulfilled that prophecy. You see how that's kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I just find that, I mean, I just could go on and on. I know you'll have a rebuttal to everything I say. I mean, it's just more so to see where your head's at. I know with the Mosaic documentary I was watching this morning, they just found, this documentary came out in 2023, I think, or 2024. And the Mosaic they found was in, I'm going to mispronounce it. It was in Lego or Megiddo or something like that, near in the Jerusalem area or something like that. And scientists, of course, with all the new technology, it's insane. They're doing all this infrared, all these lasers, some of the science I can't even comprehend. And but the translation on the Mosaic that they excavated was something along the lines of, paraphrasing, Jesus is God, or or Jesus Christ God, or something like that. And this was dated back to, I think, the earliest I don't know what the earliest but it was 200 AE. And I just find that insane how we still have evidence, or finding evidence from 2,000 years ago saying Jesus Christ is God. And I don't think that, and I think one of the big differences with Christianity is that all the Roman gods, all the Greek gods, you never heard of those gods loving you. Jesus loves you, and that he preached that, and his followers preached that. And I think that just stands out alone in itself, and just for the religion.
I mean, when it comes to the Greek and the Roman gods, right? They had certain gods that were dedicated to love itself,
but not of its followers, but not loving exclusively its followers, and not having open arms for the poor. not having open arms for the sick.
Actually, yes. I forgot which one it was.
No, not even close. Not even.
Hold
close.
on, give me a second. We can just Google this because I don't know their names, but there are Greek gods.
But it's like gods of that. But it's not like that's who they worship to. It's not necessarily saying that specific God has love for you. That's what was preached, and that wasn't preached about the Greek and Roman gods. They were powerful. They were looked at to be feared. They were like, you pray to them, you worship them for specific needs, but you pray to God, you pray to Jesus Christ for everything.
Right. Because like Jesus, because what's that thing called again? Monotheism came out of the Jewish tradition, right? So that it came out of the Yahwehism tradition. So, but Yahwehism but Yahweh himself was actually a god of storms and warriors before he became the god over everything. You see what I'm saying? So even in this tradition, it came from a pantheist thought. The ancient Israelites were pantheists. Yeah, and there were Greek gods that were protective and affectionate of humanity. Prometheus, Vesta, Hermes. Hermes was the god of traveling and medicine and all that. So Athena too.
I know, but when you say the god of medicine or healing, that's more so you worship that god so that you can be healed. It's not, but the difference between the worshiping in God to be healed is that Jesus Christ told you that he loved you. Hermes, they don't say I love you. Like Zeus doesn't say I love you. Poseidon say no. What?
Hermes does. It said that Hermes is a protector of humanity who loves to companion a man. Meaning that he loves men. He loves, well, not just men. I'm talking about humanity. But yeah, that's another thing. Hermes could have gone that way too. But Hermes was a god that loves humanity. That's why he was the god of medicine.
I mean, do you believe in those gods?
No, of course not. I'm just saying that there are traditions of pantheonic gods that do love humanity. Like Jesus wasn't the only one.
Okay. And then to be completely honest with you and just blunt, like I'm not familiar with many other religions just because I feel like I don't need to be. I think it's necessary to have at least a general basis, basic knowledge too of some of those but like, I mean, I'm not following my faith too and deepening it to debate other people. I'm deepening it for my love for Jesus. So, I mean, so like I've glanced at some of the comments and it's like, oh, you've never researched this or you don't have that much knowledge. And it's like, to be honest, I have all the knowledge I need at right now. I mean, I'm going to keep growing in it. So, I mean, I understand the lives for arguing it and trying to debate it.
You don't have to necessarily debate me on it. Debates here happen, but I'm more on along the lines of
conversation.
Conversation. Let's actually talk about it and see where our mind is at. Yeah. So
have you been of faith at any point, or do you have a specific faith background?
Yeah, my a lot actually. I grew up. Give me a second. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Yeah, I grew up Pentecostal Christian. My parents were Protestants, Pentecostals. My grandmother on my mom's side was Catholic. She became a Protestant later, just for pure osmosis. She became Catholic. She became a Protestant. So my grandmother on my mom's side was Catholic. Grandma on my dad's side, rest in peace, was a voodoo practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you said you were Christian. I'm sorry, I heard that right.
Yeah, I was a Christian for a while.
And so, are you anything right now?
No, I'm not anything right now. I'm a agnostic atheist at the moment.
Okay. What, if you don't mind me asking, what kind of led you out? I mean, I can kind of see where you might go with this, but like, what kind of led you out of Christianity?
I deconstructed. I basically realized that the only reason that I believed it is that I grew up in it. When I looked into the feelings that I got every time I was in church or anything like that, those feelings can be replicated in other ways, right? Not just in church, like going to a concert, you can get probably those same exact feelings that you would get being in church. So I realized it's a lot of it is a psychological thing. So I wanted to see if there's like any like hard evidence. And what I did find is that, even though Jesus probably was a person and existed, how do we actually show that he had powers? And there's no way to actually do that. There's never been any evidence of the supernatural. Every single thing that we have, that we know about on our universe, how our universe operates, has never needed a supernatural explanation. People used to think that rain came from Zeus and Poseidon, and it doesn't. I mean, people used to think that the thunder was dragons in the sky. It's not. You know what I'm saying? So nothing about our universe needs a supernatural explanation. So why would our existence in of itself?
So if it doesn't need, if you don't need an explanation for that, why do you need an explanation for so much evidence for Christ when there's already plenty?
No, I'm not saying I need evidence. There's evidence that Christ existed. Do we have evidence of his powers? We don't have evidence of that.
Okay, I see what you're saying there. Just another thought that came up just as we've been talking. Eucharistic miracles. Are you familiar with those?
Yeah. People used to come by my church and do quote unquote miracles all the time. Definitely.
No, but more so the Eucharistic miracles. So that refers to the consecrated, transubstated body of Christ, and how there's been miracles associated with that.
About doing what exactly?
Okay, so like one for example would be I know there. So like it's what's the word called? Protocol, I guess. So if when a consecrated host, Eucharist, is dropped or on the ground, let's say in church, to dispose of that Eucharist, priest and the clergy are supposed to put the Eucharist in water for it to dissolve. Okay, and one time this happened, and there's plenty of miracles like this that happen. It's not just one time thing. They put in the water and they went to check on it, and it didn't dissolve. And what actually happened was there was blood coming out of the Eucharist in the water. And so scientists tested that blood, and there are so many fascinating facts about that. One, it was blood cells from like your heart to begin with. They were alive. They were live cells. It was from the heart, and they were something about the genomes or the genetics of the blood. It like basically said that it was from man, or from like he almost didn't have some of the chromosomes. And so like it pointed like so much to Jesus. And like from the left ventricle or something like that, specifically on the blood like that. I mean, that's just unheard of. Like, how is that even possible?
I mean, yeah, these
human tissue. It had human heart tissue. That's what it was.
Yeah, this was back in 2013 in Poland, right? I'm just now looking this up.
I think that's one of them. I think there's multiple, but
yeah, there are multiple. There's one that happened in 1996, one that happened in the 1800s. But like, how do we actually? What's the like? Is this actually like put into a lab and studied? Like, how do we know this is?
They tested the blood.
True.
And there was human tissue. It was human tissue that was alive, and it was from the left.
That's what the church says.
Ventricle of the, what do you mean? Scientists tested it. I don't understand how we can believe some scientists and then we can't believe some scientists. Like if it doesn't allow you, that's what I'm saying. Like you'll believe it if you want to. If you don't, you don't.
No,
that's kind of right.
That's not what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So you said that the scientists actually tested what happened in Legnica, Poland, right?
I don't know if I know that there was multiple. I'm not referring to a specific one, but I know that in
the one with heart tissue.
Yeah. I'll give you a second to Google it or something. But then like kind of while you're Googling that, I know like just another, like you find something amazing about God's creation every single day. Like our bodies are built like the old Jewish temples, like literally in the inside of us and how we function aligns with how the Jewish traditions of the temple used to operate. I could pull it up. I could find it. Like I don't have my computer in front of me like you do.
No, I actually looked it up now. That now you're correct. They did test it and found heart tissue. Yeah, there's stuff like that I can't explain.
Yeah, I hope that. I can't explain it. Yeah, I mean that one's crazy. Like some of those are just.
Yeah, I can't explain. I don't know what it means because it's the first time I'm running into this. Right. I'm pretty sure my grandmother would love to hear about this, even though she's not Catholic anymore. Give me a second. There we go. Even though she's not Catholic, and I'm pretty sure that she will love to hear about this. But still, yeah, I can't explain. I don't know why that is. I'll have to look more into this. But does this convince me that there's a God out there? Does this convince me that this is something that we should be researching more for sure?
Oh yeah,
but
I mean, I don't. It's kind of, I mean, almost sometimes to. What was I just about to say? Kind of just blank there. I mean, miracles are miracles. Like, we can't, as humans, sometimes we don't have an explanation for things. And I think that's, like I commented this earlier, God is just it's just, to put it as simple as possible in layman's terms, he's on a whole different level than us. Like, he's way out, he's outside of time, he's outside of all of, like, our existence. We cannot even imagine, or anything that he thinks is unfathomable to us. And so, with that being said, like, we're always questioning why. There's always a deeper meaning to everything. Sometimes we can't see it. He's all knowing, all loving. But I think all in all, I appreciate you. I think I don't really have too much else saying. I know you want to get to some other guests too. So, no, I mean, good conversation. I hope some of that's. I would definitely try and dive in more to that research on the miracles, though, and some of the others that are out there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, can I add on to what he was saying?
Not yet. All right. So I do appreciate everybody being here. Once again, y'all tap that screen. You all are amazing. I appreciate y'all for being here. Give me a second for me to fix my mic real quick. All right, y'all. Give me 1 second. Keep being here. Give me a second for me to fix my mic real quick. All right, y'all. Give me 1 second. All right. What's his name? Christopher. Sorry about that. Christopher, can you hear me, or am I good?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just making sure that my mic is good. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and add some more people to the stage. I do appreciate y'all. Go ahead and keep tapping that screen. Christopher, are you at least 18? And can you give me a good reason to believe in a God?
Sure. Yeah, I'm 18. Over 18. Sorry. I wanted to let you know I'm a Christian. So, you said something earlier, and I wanted to kind of address it, if you don't mind. You said that there's no evidence that showing Jesus rising from the dead, and is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So I'm assuming you're not like looking for like medical video or anything like that, right? Like medical documentation, or are you looking for something like that? Or
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Are you looking for like medical documentation, or are you looking for like video proof? Like, I mean, I guess you're not looking for video proof, but
yeah, okay, yeah, because video proof would be impossible. But like medical documentation, that probably wouldn't exist.
No, that wouldn't not in the first century.
Right, not in the first century. So we would need something else historical, like some sort of independent verification.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So I would just ask that, is it possible that you would treat the Bible not believing in everything in it, but treat it as historical documentation?
Of some things, yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's what I'd like to go over with you. So like there's like historians that are not Christians, not fan of Christians. One comes to mind, Josephus, that believed that there was that there was a man named Christ that was crucified, that he was real. I know you said you believe that Jesus existed. Do you believe that Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate?
He was definitely crucified under Pontius Pilate, from as far as what we've seen from Josephus, Tacitus, and I think one other source. That's the best that we got to say that Jesus was crucified under Pontius Pilate. Yeah.
Right. So like I said, I want to meet you where you are, right? So because I don't want to just say, oh, believe in Jesus, because I do. That's just stupid. People will take your lunch. Don't do that. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to be genuine to you. I hope you can see that. Mm-hmm. So the fact that the crucifixion happened, so that we can establish that, at least we can establish that, that's a common ground. Mm-hmm. There was a secular consensus, atheist, agnostics, agrees that Jesus of Nazareth was a real person who was crucified. Mm-hmm. what would you say to the transformation of the disciples that's found in the Bible?
I mean, like Jesus was a very, from what we can see in the Bible, what I can ascertain, right?
Sure.
Jesus was likely your ancient version of an influencer. Basically, he was, 3rd century Kaizenat, so like a charismatic in their culture, person who's very, very convincing and can a very good orator, at least for their culture.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get followers when that happens.
Yeah.
And you can get people who can change their lives around it. We see that around with today with dating gurus, where people change their entire attitudes because of what someone like Andrew Tate said, which is kind of stupid. But so it would you see that all the time, right? So I wouldn't doubt that in ancient times something like that could have happened. It all kind of boils down to the supernatural stuff.
Yeah. And again, I can't. There's a reason why they call them miracles, right? Because miracles don't happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that's kind of people say, well, why don't miracles happen every day? Well, if that's the case, then there wouldn't be called miracles, would they? Right. So fair enough. Right. So on Friday, the disciples were terrified, right? They as soon as Jesus was, taken by the Pharisees and by the Romans, they were terrified. They went into hiding, and a lot of them denied even knowing Jesus. Peter, he denied knowing him 3 times. But then we see shortly after, a few weeks later, even that they began preaching in the very city where Jesus was executed, facing torture, death, psychologically. People might die for a lie that they believe is true. That can we agree on that?
People die for things that they truly believe, like all the time. It's just what they true. You know what I mean?
True.
So that's the
only thing. But there are rarely people that will die for something that they know
that's a lie.
To be a lie.
Yeah,
right?
Those would be lie. Yeah, exactly.
Cool. All right. So
that doesn't really happen a lot.
No, and well, I mean that alone right there, it shows you that at the very least that
they really believed it.
Right. At the very least, that I'm not going to convince you that this is true, but
Christopher, can you acknowledge that people believe things all the time that are not necessarily true? Like there's the such thing called indoctrination.
Yeah, I understand. There's such things called indoctrination, but what I'm saying is that this is proof that they really did believe it, and I'm not saying this proves Christianity true. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that this proves.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, we are not disagreeing that these people believe.
Sure.
They believed in this God, or that Jesus Christ was the Son of God. That is not the conversation, because people do believe that this is a fact. The question on the dock is, what's the evidence that this is true?
Right.
Sure.
So that's what I would more get into. Like, I get that they believed it, et cetera, and they died for it, et cetera. It's really on should we believe that is true? What evidence do we have that it's actually true?
Oh, well, I mean, there's other factors that we can put into that.
Sure.
There's the embarrassment factor, the woman at the tomb, and in Roman and Jewish and the Jewish world, and especially in the first century, women's testimony was legally, worthless. So that's so if you were making up a story to prove a resurrection, you would never make a woman the first witness, right? Because that just at that time it wouldn't happen. You would pick the most respected men in the community. So the conclusion I draw from that, the only reason the gospel writers included the woman as the first witness is because they actually because that's actually what happened, even though it was socially embarrassing for their case at the time. Does that
But
help?
I actually want to expand upon that. Sure. Why would they have not taken? Because I know that you know the reason. I want to get into the why, though. They would not take a woman's word as valuable. It's almost as if misogyny was very pervasive in the first century.
So you're asking why would they not take a woman's testimony?
Why wouldn't they take a woman's testimony? Let's actually get into that. Because
I don't mind getting into that. I don't know all the reasons about that. I just know that was very common in the time. I'm not agreeing.
So you don't understand that misogyny was pervasive in the first century?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
So you're not aware that misogyny was not only pervasive in the first century, but it's also pervasive in your Bible.
Well, I would say this. Let's remember here. Jesus appeared to who when he resurrected? He appeared to a woman, right?
Right.
So if he appeared to a woman, wouldn't that prove that he's not misogynist? He wanted a woman's testimony.
Not really.
I'm not.
Here's the thing. What I would say. Right. Give me one second. Here's one thing I would say about that. Right. Because when it comes to who Jesus appeared to, there are several different versions of that story. It's either Mary alone, or Mary with 3 other people, or Mary with 4 other people. And sometimes a lot of details change. Like it was 1 angel, it was 2 angels, the angels was inside.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So all of these are different variations.
That's not a contradiction.
No,
are you saying that's a contradiction?
Yeah, these are clear contradictions. Hold on, wait. The reason why these are clear contradictions is because these things happen at different times. There's one where it happens in the morning, and there's one where it happens at dusk. Those are not the same time. That's a clear contradiction.
If you can give me a verse, I'd be more than happy to look at it.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. What verse are you looking for?
Give me 1 second.
Sure. So you're talking about contradiction, like for the resurrection, right?
Right.
I'm like, well, it would be only right since tomorrow is Easter. So why not talk about the resurrection?
No, that's
I think it's very fitting.
I don't have a problem talking about the resurrection.
Oh no, I wasn't saying that you did. I was just saying I think it's very fitting.
Yeah, that's fitting. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great.
All right, give me a second. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Take your time, brother. Take your time. By the way, I just want to let you know, I was an atheist before I became a Christian. I actually hated Christ and hated Christianity.
A lot, because one of them, I'm just trying to find a verse, right? Because,
no, that's fine.
Yeah, because I know where it says, like, John states that it happened while it was dark, and then Mark said it happened when the sun had risen. So I'm just trying to find the verses because I know those times were different.
Well, for that too, I'll just make a quick statement. We can still dive into that, but I'll just make a statement. It's possible that perspectives that someone could be writing and saying it was daylight, and then another person writing the sun was just rising. It was nighttime still, and the sun didn't rise quite yet. That's not a. I wouldn't say that's a contradiction, but
right. But yeah, that could be true, right? But when it's there's a difference between saying that it was still dark outside and after sunrise. Yeah, I mean, because after sunrise,
if someone would be saying that the sun, was just rising, and someone said, "Hey, it was still dark out."
No, those wouldn't be contradictions. But what Volsi just said, one thing it's dark, and then one thing it's after sunrise.
I would say depending on the time too. Like you say, would someone say if it's like it was like 8 at night, or if it happened at 7 in the morning? You know what I mean? So it's that I can understand.
Right. But that's kind of what this is. If something is after sunrise and still dark, those are two different times. It can't be still dark and after sunrise.
So
I also
still dark from the day before.
Hold on, everybody pause. What I'm saying is that it can't be still dark and after sunrise at the same time. It's either dark or it's sunrise. Like
you don't understand. It was dark.
Hey, James, it is not your turn. You need to be patient and be quiet.
And again, this is not to bash anyone and make anybody feel like they're stupid or anything like that. This is just a conversation, and again, we can agree to disagree. At the end of the day, it's fine.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, there's some. Yeah. So that's what I mean. That the time there is a problem. Even who went to the tomb is a problem too. Yeah. I mean, there's one where it's one woman and the other lists multiple women. and
Okay,
the number of angels
could you
upon as well.
do you have the verse? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Like for example, in Mark 16:1, it mentions
Mark 16.
Yeah, Mark 16:1, it mentions Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and someone else named I'm not sure if his name's Solomon or Salam. And then in Matthew, it says Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. And then in Luke, it says Mary Magdalene, Joanna, Mary the brother of James, and others. And then in John 20, it's just Mary Magdalene alone. So like
Okay.
these are who went to the tomb is kind of an issue there.
So yeah, so you're saying how many women went to the tomb would be a conflict for you, right?
That's a big conflict. Yeah.
Okay, so Matthew says 2 women, says Mary Magdalene and the other Mary. Mark says 3, adding Salome. Luke says several women. John mentions only Mary Magdalene. So again, I would say this is a perspective. This is the this is a mission. It's a mission is not a contradiction. So John focuses on Mary Magdalene personal experience, but even in his account, Mary says we do not know where they have laid him. She mentioned, so she doesn't say I. She says we. John 20 verse 2 implies others were with her, but they aren't disagreeing on who was there. They're just highlighting different people. So I would say that this, actually doesn't. The conclusion here, I'd say that it would be more suspicious.
Mhm.
I would say if everything was like perfectly aligned, it's almost like they gathered together, make sure like everything matches up with one another. Does that make sense?
I'm like, okay, but let's get down to the nitty gritty, because here is the bottom line.
Sure.
Outside of this book, I want you to show evidence that someone could come back from the dead.
Okay, so you want like outside of the Bible, what is the evidence that Christ rose from the dead?
I'm not even just Christ, because first of all, we have it as, because first of all, Vosley has said, that he was a person, not that he was necessarily the Son of God, or that he had supernatural abilities or powers. So first, before we even get into the resurrection story, we first need to establish, one, that is the Son of God. Number 2, which would therefore prove that God is real. Number 2, that someone can be brought back from the dead after unaliving.
Okay. Actually, before we even get all that, we have to show that the supernatural is even a thing.
Yes.
And that would be even a little bit more difficult.
Obviously, I can't prove supernatural. I can't prove the supernatural to you guys. Right? I'm assuming you can give me a little bit of grace there.
I can give you grace there.
And I'm glad that you can acknowledge that you cannot prove.
I cannot prove it. That doesn't mean that it's not true.
Right. Yeah. Of course. We can't.
Well, the fact that you cannot prove it means that there's no reason to believe it's true.
Right. Right. So there's no way to prove that it's true. Like we can't prove that ET isn't out there somewhere in the Tau Ceti star. Like we can't show that.
So
to
just
be true. Just because we can't doesn't mean
it's not true.
It's not true. Right.
Well, to be fair, Vosley, they're also not. They're not saying that ET was a real person.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think he's just using that as an example.
As an example. Yeah. So
just because I cannot prove that the supernatural exists. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
It does prove that there's no reason to believe.
To believe it, exactly.
That's
what I was
that's something that cannot be proven credibly.
So
there's no reason to believe that exists, though.
And she said something, and we kind of got lost in the weeds. Outside of the Bible, are you looking for a reason that Christ is the Son of God?
Well, no. Well, first I started off with I want you to give an example outside of the Bible of someone being resurrected from the dead. We first need to establish that is even possible before we even get into acknowledging that Jesus came back from the dead. That's going to be tomorrow.
Okay, so you want outside the Bible resurrection happening and it being documented? Is that what you're looking for?
Well, no, yes, I want you to prove that someone can be in fact resurrected. And I'm not talking about with modern technology, with CPR and those stuff, because we're talking about, because that is a medical assistant, and which is not always, obviously, unfortunately, it's not, doesn't always work, but it works a good enough amount of the time. I am talking about supernaturally someone being brought back from the dead. I want you to provide that there's evidence for that outside the Bible.
Okay. Well, and again, I could say I'm going to try to help you out here, but I would also say that there's no evidence that the resurrection didn't happen.
Well, here's the thing.
Let's pause there. Let's pause real quick because we're still getting into, we're kind of getting into the weeds again, right?
Yeah.
Sure. We can't. Just because we don't have evidence of the supernatural doesn't mean that is true. That is not true, right? However, this would still be a strong reason to us to not actually accept that the supernatural is true because we don't have evidence that that's the case. You see what I'm saying? So that's number one.
Again, this is the reason why it's called miracles. Miracles don't happen every day.
I got you. They don't happen every day.
But we should not just accept that something is true because you claim miracles do not happen every day. We need evidence.
I'm not asking you to believe that believe Christianity on that alone. No.
I got you. But what I'm trying to get to is like what we're asking before. How can we verify independently outside the Bible that people can actually rise from the dead after they were clinically dead? Not just clinically.
Sure.
Because clinically is your heart. I'm talking about brain dead. It's gone. No brain activity at all.
Well, we could add clinically, brain on the dead, on all of those things, right? The nitty gritty to the situation is we need evidence that is true, and I'm not just going to accept that miracles. Or we're not accepting the Bible as evidence neither, because the Bible is the claim, not evidence. The Bible is making a claim. We need to verify that the claim.
I want Christopher to get to what he's to what he said. Like, how do we verify that people can rise from the dead? What do we use, Christopher?
Again, we're talking about a very supernatural thing happening, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say I'm trying to help you. Some reason my computer was acting up. I'm not really sure why. I'm trying to fix that.
The connection be weird sometimes.
I don't know. There's something wrong with it.
We know how that go, bros. It's the data centers. It's all the data centers.
Give me just a moment so I can try to help you guys out.
No, it's all good. It's all the data centers, bro. That's all. That's the reason why you're having issues. We all have issues. It's crazy. But go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say this with the case of resurrection happening outside of the Bible, because I'm assuming you want it just not in the Bible at all, right?
Well, yes, I want a non, because here's the thing.
Yeah.
As I've said, we do not accept the Bible as evidence. The Bible is the claim. We want evidence to support that claim.
Okay, so is it okay if I give you something that's showing outside the Bible, and it shows that this person wrote about these Jewish followers of Jesus, and they did claim that Jesus did rise again? Is that I want a non-religious. Yeah, no,
I want a scientific.
He was not a friend of Christianity.
I understand.
Are you talking about Josephus?
Yeah, Josephus was not a fan of Christianity, and
that verse. Yeah, he wrote that there were people who were followers that believed that Jesus rose from the dead. Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Like I agree with that, but that doesn't mean that it actually happened.
Acknowledged, because even me and mostly acknowledged, there were people that believed these things were true. The fact of the matter is, Christianity is a religion today because people do believe this is true. So regardless, so we're not debating on whether or not people believe that this is true. That's not the conversation. The conversation is evidence that it is true.
Right. So we need that.
So you want like proof of a resurrection happening like in today's society? Is that
what I would say? What I would say is that
I know you're not claiming that miracles stop happening once Jesus stop performing them.
Oh no, I'm not doubting that miracles.
So what I would say?
Okay, sorry.
I'll go. So Christopher, what I would say is that someone resurrecting today, if they were dead for 3-4 days, like they're brain dead, no brain activity at all, verified, and they came back, that would be a strong indicator that something happened, and we'll have to look back at the Jesus story and be like, whatever happened to that person that happened today, Maybe that happened with Jesus too, right? Let's see what's going on here. Maybe there's something about the world. Maybe there's something about physics or chemistry or biology that we don't know yet. Or this could be an indication of there's something beyond our physical reality. That could be the case as well.
Supernatural.
You know,
which I will accept it once you provide that evidence.
Right. That's what we're saying.
And again, I'm just confused on what you guys are looking for. Maybe I'm just.
I got you. Okay, so what we will be looking for right now when it comes to Jesus rise from the dead. Of course, we can't have medical records or video, et cetera, et cetera. We would need independent verification that someone saw him alive after he was reported to be sacrificed and dead. Something independent of the Bible, meaning
something independent of the Gospels, right?
Exactly, not simply Paul simply saying that 500 witnesses saw it. We need to see who were those 500 witnesses, what did they see, at what time, what, et cetera, et cetera. We need something like that. And when it comes to
I want places. I want verbs. I'm like people, places, and things. That is exactly what I want.
That would help out with the claim. And what will also make it even stronger is if we have any modern examples of people coming back in 3 days.
But you know what I mean? I want people, places, and things. Okay, I'm like, let's go back to elementary school with it.
So Christopher, it is a high bar. I get that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
something like this,
it
could require it.
But I would just say when it comes to documentation, I know you guys said that you don't want to take the Bible, but let's just keep in mind, you guys believe that what is it? Goodness gracious, Caesar, right? You guys believe things about him, and we only have like very little documentation about him.
But here's the thing with that. Here's the thing about that, Christopher. Not only is there documentation, but in modern day, we also have people who are descendants and are related to Caesar, and we can verify that through DNA.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that Caesar was not a real person or that he didn't do the things he did. I'm saying that look at the difference, okay? Because we only have very little documentation about him, and then we go to manuscript evidence about the New Testament. We have over 5,000 evidence of Greek manuscript, pieces of Greek manuscript.
Here's the thing. I've heard arguments a lot about we'd have a little bit of Caesar, but that's not actually true. We actually have his own writings. Like he wrote books.
Yeah, we have his. Not only do we have it, but like I mentioned, Zosi, we have DNA and modern times to prove through his descendants and the people that share his answer that he was. So we have his descendants as proof as well. We do not have that with Jesus. We do not have that with God. We don't even have that with the people who are the authors of the gospel, such as Paul. There is no evidence.
Well, I think it'd be very hard for us to get, evidence in today, like it's over 2,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's 1,000 years ago. So it's going to be harder.
2,000 years ago, but the reality is this: people who existed 2,000 years ago, if they procreated, they have descendants in modern day.
But
like Genghis Khan. Yeah, I mean,
right, but we don't have documentation about Jesus procreating.
Right, we don't. So I'm saying that's fair.
We don't have to have evidence because Jesus. Are you saying that Jesus' mother didn't have family who procreated? Did Mary not have a family?
Mary definitely did.
I'm saying that.
Hold on, everybody pause. I'm sorry. Everybody pause real quick, so we can get like fair with what we're saying. So yeah, when it comes to documentation about Julius Caesar, right? There are thousands of manuscripts of Julius Caesar. So it's not like we have way more documentation of Jesus than Julius Caesar. With Julius Caesar, we actually have the shit that he actually wrote. You know what I mean? So it's like we know that it's one of those things that even if we only had 300 manuscripts of Caesar and 1,000 of Jesus, the fact that Caesar actually wrote something will be a stronger case that he existed over Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, we're not doubting that Jesus existed. We just have to, for the sake of argument, at least, there are people who are mythicists that are friends of mine and they would doubt it. But for the sake of argument, I'm saying that Jesus was likely a person. What we need to actually now confirm is that was the supernatural things that he did true, because there are plenty of people within history that are real people that have claimed to have supernatural powers, or people put the supernatural in them, like Caesar, for example. You know what I mean? So like we will have to actually kind of show what's the probability of something being supernatural, or not even probability because we can't compare it to anything, but what evidence do we have of the supernatural? You know what I mean? So is there anything?
The reality? Because here, let's get into the nitty gritty. Here's the reality of the situation. The claim that I'm like, there is more evidence that we could even argue that there's more evidence of Santa Claus being real than your God. Because Santa Claus was actually the character was actually built off a real person.
Oh yeah, I can admit that we get Santa Claus from one of the saints that actually was a Christian, by the way.
Yeah, Saint Nick. Yeah, Saint Nick was actually.
I know that. I'm like, well, guess how I know that? I'm like, Christopher, because I was once a Christian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. We can verify Saint Nick.
That's fine, fair enough.
But yeah,
I feel like you're kind of hostile.
No, it's all okay.
No, I'm not.
I'm not hostile. I'm just very passionate.
Yeah. So all right. So I got you. Hold on, everybody pause real quick because I think we're kind of talking past one another, and we do kind of have to move on. I do apologize, Christopher, but for the last few minutes while you're up, let's go ahead and get to that nitty gritty on what can we do to actually show something supernatural happen. Not just in contemporary times, but back in those days, right? What would we actually use in order to make sure that something supernatural happened? What do you think we can do to kind of show that?
So, if I'm trying to understand your question, you're asking like, what can we do, or what should we do to prove the supernatural exists?
Yeah. That was a wrong way for me to ask it. Let me just put
it into he's asking for empirical evidence of the supernatural in modern times. That's what he's asking.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how can we show that in modern times with all the science that we have, what can we do to show that the supernatural exists or likely exists, and then that can inform us about past times of people who actually claim something supernatural? What can we do for today to show that something supernatural exists? What do you think that method would be?
Okay, so again, that's a loaded question. I'll try my best to answer it. So what can we do to prove the supernatural exists? Well, again, I cannot prove to you that the supernatural exists. But what can we do? I think again, we just look into evidence. What I mean by that is look into documentations about things. Obviously, if someone writes something, and anybody can write about anything, and but if we look into evidence like about George Washington's life, for instance, we can obviously tell that whoever, like people were near him, they had eyewitness testimony about him, and they wrote about it, right? So when it comes to that, I feel we should be able to take the Gospels as eyewitness testimonies. These are people that were near to Jesus. These are people that saw things. They
Not all of them.
Huh?
Not all of them. Some of these writings came centuries after his death.
Who you talking about specifically? I'm sorry. Maybe we don't have time to get into that.
All right. We can get into that later. So basically, what you're saying, we will have to go into what ancient people wrote, right? So, but just like how you said that there's going to be an issue there because, like you said, people can write anything. So, basically, how do we independently verify what they were saying?
We would have to look into multiple, documentation. I'm not saying look into one thing and if it, just take it at face value. No, we look into the manuscript evidence just around that kind of particular situation. If the resurrection did happen, right? Mm-hmm. If it did happen, we obviously do have manuscripts about it, and we do have evidence of people that were non-Christian claiming that that they saw these people, these so-called followers of Christ, of someone named Christ, that they claim to have risen from the dead, and they got no benefits from it. They didn't get riches. They actually were persecuted. They died violent deaths. It's not like they did this so they could get any sort of benefits from it. So right. I'd say like that's, at the very least, it's strong to prove that something happened in that time. And, I obviously I can't go back in time and prove anything to you guys, but
Christopher, and this is gonna be the last thing before we move on. Sure. You can't come back anytime. I do appreciate you. So I was gonna say like the thing that we're gonna run into an issue with there, that if we take that, we will also have to take Joseph Smith, because he has people who wrote that, he's telling us the truth. He saw the angel, and they told him about these golden plates that he read out of a hat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that would be
Nigger.
I'm gonna show you, nigger. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, bye.
Course.
In the comments.
Of course.
Bye.
That always happens, y'all. If you come across a person who's a black person in the live, that always happens.
You have so many fans, Vosi.
Many fans.
They just love your big melanated bald head.
They love it. They love it.
I would say this, brother. I don't personally, I don't have any sort of ill will towards anybody here.
No. It's all right.
I hope I came and showed you guys like I'm here in good faith. I'm trying to just talk with you.
You did.
Yeah, you did, of course.
But I'll
which is actually the least I can say for most Christians, to be honest.
I would say this. Just because someone plays Beethoven and butchers it, that doesn't make Beethoven a liar. Beethoven a horrible person, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So,
Christopher, we do got to go ahead and move on, but I do appreciate you. Always come back, all right?
Yeah, sure. No problem, brother. Hey,
I think James is next on the list.
Yeah, James is next. Hey, take care, Christopher. I appreciate you, all right? Oh, I think I cut him off. My bad, Christopher, if I cut you off. My bad. Yeah, guys. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone who's here. Of course, there's always going to be those people who come by. They see a beautiful black man. You know what I mean? with this melanated skin
and the black that doesn't crack. And your beautiful black female co-host.
Yes, and my beautiful black female co-host, and my beautiful wife, who they're always jealous of. You know what I mean? Like it's we get it.
She is gorgeous with those locks and that deeply rich melanated skin, the Asian backboard. I'm like, okay. Speaking of jealous, have you heard from that Crackle Barrel bitch yet?
We did not. Okay. I don't think she blocked me, but we did not hear from her a lot. But I did tag her in a whole bunch of.
Listen, the way I went to her comments to drag her.
Definitely. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on to James. Let's see if we get anybody else on to come to the board. But James, how's it going, James? I know you want to talk for a long time. I appreciate your patience because it did take a time. So us like about 30 minutes with Christopher. I appreciate your patience, James. All right, so now you're on the board. Your time to shine. Shout out to Christine. I'm sorry, James. Give me 1 second. Shout out to Christina Carroll. Shout out to Cherry. Definitely follow those beautiful black women as black non-believers as well. Go and follow them. They make great content. We'll see if they'll be at the cookout. All right, Christina and Cherry, y'all got to be at the cookout. Tell me y'all gonna be there. All right.
I'm like I said, I'm gonna try, but like with my finances, I don't know.
I get it. No, I get it. I definitely get it. Next year, I want to have it in Georgia because that's where black non-believers have their reunion over there in Georgia. So I definitely want to go ahead and.
I'm like, I have some distant Georgia roots, I think, as well, because my cousin from Savannah.
Oh yeah! Oh, dope. So definitely next year we can do that. All right, y'all.
My roots are mainly DMV and Tennessee, though, but I have some Mississippi roots as well in Georgia.
Oh, definitely. All right,
Louisiana.
Gotcha. All right, let's get to James. James, I appreciate you for being patient. Thank you so much. All right, your time to shine. Let's go ahead and put some time on the clock. I'm gonna put just as much time that we gave to Christopher because just to be fair. All right, so James, are you at least 18? And what do you think is a good reason to believe in a God?
Yes, I'm over 18. I've been 18 for many years.
What do you think is a good reason to believe in a God, James?
Through my research over the years, I've received 2 doctorate degrees in theology and religion. I'm an apostle. I've actually had 2 experiences walking on the beach with Christ in the spirit. They've been confirmed by others who I didn't even tell. One came up and told me that I had it. This same person, you can say he went to the hospital and my ex-wife resurrected. She was in a coma. She got thrown out of the car, was in a coma for 3 months. I talked to the doctors. They actually said that she was actually brain dead, that they had told the parents to call the funeral home. The next day, Dr. Wright showed up to the hospital, said that She was coming back on Tuesday at 6 o'clock in the morning. Her parents thought he was out of his mind. They hadn't seen Dr. Wright in 15 years, but lo and behold, Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock, she woke up straight up and jumped out of bed. That this was someone who was supposed to have been now you want to talk about being someone died and for more than several days, but she was in that state for 3 months. But she woke up and she's alive today.
Gotcha. All right. So, James, if a person is brain dead, has absolutely no brain activity for 3 months, and then comes back, this will be the biggest news story of ever, because they did something. She did something that even hold on, give me a second, James. This would be something that even Jesus didn't do. And if this happened in 1977, we will still hear about it today. Yeah, I mean, because we still hear about the gas prices from 1977 and how the Iran conflict back then, basically crashed the economy in America. So we would hear about this, right? Like this happened in 1977. You're saying that someone was confirmed brain dead for 3 months, longer than Jesus, and then came back to life.
3 months, but I saw the paperwork. I've seen it was a 1 inch worth of paperwork from the hospital. I looked at all the vital signs. I asked the doctors in her family, she has doctors on her family, what those vital signs meant. I asked other doctors what those vital signs meant, neurologists what it meant, and they said that was, as far as they concerned, it was a verified miracle because there was no way that she was supposed to wake up.
Okay.
Just like me at 18 months old. Great.
Hold on. James. I'm sorry, bro. Like, not to be rude, but we don't really care about personal testimony. I'm happy that the person that you love is still with you. No, don't think I'm trying to be rude here. Well, I am happy. Hold on, James. Hold on. James, hold on.
That's everything.
James, hold on. James, hold on. Slow down for a second. I'm happy that the person that you love, I think that was your wife that you're talking about. I'm happy that she's still with you, right? Don't get me wrong there. But when it comes to personal testimony, we really don't care about that. We need the evidence. Now, you're saying this is something that happened, right? If this is something that happened, it would be in literally every single medical journal. Where can I read about this case?
At Howard University.
Howard University?
Howard University in Washington, D.C. You can say if they can look up Dr. Epps and Dr. LaFall, two very well-known doctors at Howard University. I talked to both of them.
All right. Howard University.
Can you look it up?
I'm looking at it. Washington.
1977. It happened on Memorial Day was her accident, and she woke up approximately 3 months later after Dr. Wright went up there and held her hand.
Okay. So James, hold on. James. And she was declared clinically brain dead, meaning zero brain activity in 1977.
Right, according to the paperwork that I read.
Okay.
I looked at the paperwork myself.
James, hold on, bro. Hold on. Howard University. It is the Howard University in Washington, D.C., the HBCU?
Yes.
Okay. Howard University, 1977. And you said that you said which doctor what's the name of the doctor?
Dr. LaFall, Dr. Epps. I'm not sure. I can't remember the name of the neurologist, but they were her. All three of them were her attending doctors.
All right, Dr. Charles Epps Jr.
Yes,
Dr. Charles Epps Jr.
He became the dean of the medical school.
All right. So, what's the name of this case where your wife resurrected after 3 months from being clinically?
Her name was Carolyn Nash at the time. I don't know at the time before we got married, at the time of the accident.
Carolyn Nash?
Carolyn Nash. I'm not sure how long she was considered clinically dead, but they came to her parents and told her that they couldn't, there was no more vital signs that they could find, that they could call the funeral home on Monday morning. This was Saturday.
I'm literally finding nothing.
It happened in 1977.
Yeah, I'm finding nothing. Howard University, 1977, Carolyn Nash resurrection. brings up zero, nothing.
Well, they're probably not going to say resurrection at the hospital. Come on now, please. It's not a church.
I know it's not a church, but something like that would have been some sort of. Hold on, James, listen. I know it's not a church, but something like that would have been in some sort of medical journal. I'm not finding it anywhere.
Well, it happened, and I went up to Howard University, and I spoke to both Dr. Epps in the fall, and I'm trying to remember the neurologist. I spoke to him, too.
Are you sure she was brain dead or in a coma?
Well, they said that they considered her brain dead because they felt there was no brain activity. Not even when they took a drill and drilled through her leg to put her in traction, did she flinch or have any brain activity from on their meters or their, however they had her hooked up to the life support system. There was no vital signs.
I want you to think about this for a second, James. What you're saying is something that didn't even happen with Jesus, but it's in no medical journal at all that we can find. That's kind of crazy. Hold on, James. James, hold on. Listen. James, hold on. Listen to what I'm saying. James, listen to what I'm saying. James, hold on. Listen to what I'm saying to you, because you're not. James, hold on, bro. Because you're actually not listening to actually discuss. You listen to respond. Listen to what I'm saying to you. What you're claiming it happened with your wife is not even something that happened with Jesus, because Jesus came back, according to the story, after 3 days. You're saying that your wife was on life support machines, clinically brain dead for 3 months, and then came back. That's something that's a bigger miracle than Jesus, and it's in no medical journal at all. That sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah, but I'm
Are
not
you sure? Well, what I'm saying, James, is that hold on. James, hold on. Wait. I got you. I got you. Hold on, James. What I'm going to ask you is, are you sure that she wasn't in a coma and not clinically brain dead? Because those will be two different things. If she was in a coma, that's one thing. And yeah, I understand back then the language was different. They would just say the person is brain dead, even though they're in a coma. You know what I mean? So are you sure it was different between being in a coma and being brain dead? Because being in a coma and coming back, that's still a great thing to happen. No one's denying that. But were they actually clinically brain dead?
Documented that people come back from.
I'm going by what the doctors and her family told me, what they considered like their Uncle Charlie, a radiologist, and then other doctors in her family. When speaking to them personally, because when I first heard the story, I didn't believe it. I thought maybe that she had some, because I grew up in D.C. and there was a lot of people with mental issues in D.C., believe me. And so I thought that she was one of these people who had mental things, because, when she told me her father was the chairman of the National Capital Planning Commission and he was a black man, I said, there's no way. She can't be telling me the truth. There ain't no way. I went to school for civil engineering. I said, ain't no black chairman of the National Capital Planning Commission. But he was appointed by Marion Barrett. So I went up to Howard University and spoke to these doctors. I spoke to Dr. Wright. I spoke to her pastor at People's Congregational Church. I talked to her family members and friends of theirs who actually were there in 77, because I didn't meet her until 84. So when I heard these stories, I grew up in a strong Baptist church, and father, these were things.
James, I'm sorry. I have to. James, I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you one more time. Again, these are all testimonies, right? Where can we find actual evidence that this actually happened? Because again, this is something that not even Jesus accomplished, but your wife did. That is a huge miracle. Where can we find evidence of that? Like, why is it in no medical journal at all? Why would they not actually put this into some sort of medical journal, or even doctors and scientists and people from freaking NASA take a look at your wife to see how exactly did she do this? Because being dead for 3 months and coming back is huge. And you're saying that your wife is not the most famous person in the world right now? That's kind of crazy. Can't hear you. I can't hear you. James, I can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
Well,
try to get to a better spot, please. And while you're doing that, give me a second. Hey, Truth Never Lies. Why don't you just go ahead and come on up, and then you and Christina can go ahead and talk on the stage, because I think it'll be better than just going back and forth and typing, right? You and Christina can come on up and hash that out, because like it's y'all just going back and forth and not getting anywhere. Not sure what you're talking about dinosaurs for either. All right, so James, are you in a better area?
I mean, this. Can you hear me now?
You're good. Yeah, that's better. That's way better. All right, so
yeah. I've seen the evidence on paper myself.
Where?
Looking through, we got copies from Howard University. Well, her family member who was a doctor went to the hospital and got documented, and then explained to us what each one of those vital signs meant, at what time. She went through the whole paperwork with us and showed and said that, she was a doctor herself, and said that this is something, that the whole family believed was a miracle, because she should not have woke up.
Okay.
Medically.
So James, I get that, right? James, I'm understanding everything you're saying. I get that, right? What I'm saying is that this is not in any medical journal. Why would she not be one of the most famous cases ever?
She should be as famous as Henrietta Lacks right now.
I don't know. I mean, I have nothing to do with that. All I know was I went up there, I investigated, I got answers from Dr. LaFall. I got answers from Dr. Charles Epps, who was a good friend. He became a good friend of mine. I got answers from Dr. Leon Wright, the theologian that taught at Howard University, the doctorate program. I got answers from her parents, her brothers and sisters, her cousins, her aunts and uncles.
We know, James. I got you, James. I got you.
talked to so many people about it.
I got you. I understand that you talked to a whole bunch of people about this.
I doubted for myself for years.
I got you. What I'm asking is, why isn't this in any type of medical journal? And I can't find anything about it.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I don't work at Howard University. I can't answer you that. But I've seen the paperwork myself. So
all right. Do you have it with you?
No, she has it. Why would I have it? We're not together. We're divorced.
Okay. All right. So she has the medical papers.
But James, you're asking.
She had the paper. I don't know. I don't have it. I've had, I looked through the paperwork myself after her cousin explained to me what to look for, especially.
Right. So you're saying that your ex-wife completed a miracle that even Jesus didn't do.
Well, I mean, there are many miracles that happened after Jesus that Jesus didn't do. Well, we can't say that he didn't.
Oh my God! But you're basically asking us without any.
You can't put human beings in the same classification as Jesus.
Yes, we can, because your wife resurrected after 3 months, and he did after 3 days. So we can put him in the same category.
He was the son of God. She wasn't.
That makes it even worse, because she was dead longer than Jesus. That makes it even worse.
Yeah, but he was never spiritually dead or no vital signs. I mean, he was still. What do you mean? Come on.
Like, come on, bro. Jesus was dead for 3. Jesus was dead for 3 days. And came back.
Prove to me that he wasn't still spiritually alive.
Bro, you can't even prove spirits exist.
Can you prove they don't?
That's like saying to disprove dragons.
Wait a minute, can you prove they don't?
You can't prove a negative, bro. You can't prove a negative.
No, you're being
You're the one who said you're the one who brought up spirits. So it's on you to actually prove spirits. Hold on, James, stop. But you're the one who's claiming, James, stop. You're the one who's claiming that spirits exist.
Man, I have a lot
so
more
you have to prove it. So James, please stop talking. You're the one who claimed that spirits exist. So that means you have to actually prove spirits. When I ask you for the proof, you just can't say you can't prove I don't. Like, for example, hold on, James, listen. Are you going to believe me when I say I have $10 billion in the Bahamas?
You might. I don't know. I'm not.
You really going to believe that I have $10 billion in the Bahamas?
Some people do. I don't know.
Okay, cool. So, all right. So cool. Cool. So James, hold on, James, do this then. Go ahead and buy a plane ticket and meet me in the Bahamas tomorrow, for I can give you $5 million. You gonna do it?
No, because I'm going to church tomorrow.
Because you don't believe me. You don't believe that shit, bro.
I don't need the $5 million.
No, it's not about you needing the $5 million. I'm just telling you, I have $10 billion. Meet me in the James. Quiet. You're not understanding me, bro. Why are you doing this?
No, why are you doing this, man?
James,
I don't need your $5 million, so why should I?
James, I didn't say you needed my money. That's not what I said. You really need to relax and actually follow what I'm saying. You're not actually listening to me, bro. Like, what is it with y'all old heads, man? Y'all don't listen. Listen to what I actually said. What I said is that you're not just going to believe me because I said something. If I told you I had $10 billion in the Bahamas, go ahead and get a plane ticket and meet me there next Tuesday. You're not going to do it just because I said so. You don't believe me. You're not gullible like that. So when you say, trust me, bro.
I mean, he might be.
Yeah. So when you say, trust me, bro, my wife resurrected after 3 months, a miracle that even Jesus didn't do. Why should I just take your word for it? You said that you saw all the paperwork. Cool. But you're just telling me that. How do I verify this? What is the way to do that? How do I verify what you're saying? That's the question on the line, James. Go ahead and you can get off mute now. How do I actually verify what you're claiming? You can get on mute now.
You're not going to believe anyway.
Just like you won't believe me if I told you I had $10 billion in the Bahamas. My question is, how do you verify what you're saying?
I said you could. I said you could. I said I.
So are you gonna meet me there next Tuesday? Are you gonna meet me there next Tuesday?
No, I'm not, because I have.
Why not?
Why would
no, you don't believe me, bro. You don't believe me that I have $10 billion in the Bahamas. You don't believe that shit. You don't believe that.
So why do I need to come to the Bahamas? If you say you have it, then all I know you could have it.
Okay, so
meet you there.
All right, so cool. So you believe I have $10 billion? Would you like me to send you $5 million?
You might. I don't know you. I don't know your financial circumstances.
All right, cool. So James. So James, let me get the last 4 of your social and your birthday, and I'll be able to wire you $5 million. Go ahead and give it to me.
No, I can't do that. I'm a security consultant.
Because you don't believe me. Exactly. You're concerned yourself that you don't believe me.
Why would I get you arrested?
All right, bro.
Why would I get you arrested? Because
all right. We're gonna go ahead and move on.
Okay. Anyway, I'm the OG crashing out with not on my bingo card for this week. My bingo card for the week.
The OGs always pass. they always crash out. Your background's kind of loud.
I'm like,
my goodness.
Oh, to be fair, I am outside going for a walk. Cool. I'm just taking care of my health.
Yeah. Me and wife are gonna do that in a second. We're gonna go ahead and go for a walk. Well, Jesus Christ. All right. So what's this guy's name? Truth never ceases, truth never lies. What's his name? The one crashing on the comments, bothering Christina. There it is. Truth never lies. Yeah. So go ahead and request up. Go ahead and come up. Truth never lies. I went ahead and sent you a request. You can go ahead and talk to me.
Mostly Christina's not here right now.
Oh yeah. She's not. I thought she was.
I'm like, we'll see. You didn't get the joke.
Oh yeah. Now I got you.
That went right over your head.
Yeah, it did. All right, truth never lies. Go ahead, come on.
I know you're not African American, but goddamn, I would thought you got that reference.
Yeah, no, I got that one. All right, Audrey. We got Audrey coming up. Audrey, how's it going? Okay, Audrey, how's it going? Are you at least 18? And do you think you give me a good reason to believe in a God? You there, Audrey? Audrey.
Okay, I'm just gonna drop Audrey then.
Yeah. There we go. Cool. Hey, what's going on, Christina?
Hey,
Hey,
sorry.
Christina. I'm like, how's your ex-husband, girl?
Lord Jesus Christ. I don't even be like on panels and stuff like that anymore, but I wanted to, I don't know, encourage Truth Never Lies to come on up because, and you asked how we got on the topic of dinosaurs, right? Mm-hmm. But that was because he was trying to explain to me his position on why he doesn't like talking to non-believers or atheists. And he was saying that it's because he asks questions and we run from him. So I asked him what was some of the questions, or one of the questions that he typically asks that causes atheists and non-believers to run from him. And he asked, how are dinosaurs created? So that's how we got on the topic.
Well, I'm sure they evolved like many other species did.
Which is exactly what I said to him.
I'm like, I don't think they were created by a god, nor do I think that they like that their species went extinct because of a god neither. But I'm like, but riddle me this. Truth Never Lies. Why are for a book that y'all claim to be a historically accurate book, why are the dinosaurs in the Bible?
Yeah, what are dinosaurs in the Bible? Truth Never Lies. So, like, Christina is up now. You can go ahead and come on up. We can go ahead and have this conversation. You're saying that, you know, there's some sort of video you have about dinosaurs. We don't need to watch it. We just need you to come up and explain. Go ahead and come on up.
Yeah, if you can articulate what it is what the method is, we can understand it.
But here is the thing: I don't think that atheists and non-believers run from him. I think that the atheists and non-believers question him and push him, and then he runs. I bet that's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. He either runs or he becomes a waste of time or he becomes disrespectful. So we just drop him. That's what always happens. You see, because whenever I
claim that we're running,
whenever people say that Christians run from me, it's always because they either waste our time or they basically become disrespectful. So we just have no time for their nonsense anymore. So we just move on.
Like what's his name that was on our panel like a couple weeks ago? I'm like the after he got off, he was trolling you in your Facebook comments.
Yeah,
I think you're streaming. Oh, Bundy, child, that was a whole other thing.
Yeah, that was a whole other thing. Oh man. All right. What was his name? Ape shit. How's it going, Ape? Are you at least 18? And did you want to give us a good reason to believe in a God?
Hi, I'm over 18. It's nice to meet you. I hope you're having a nice day. I would like to be able to convince you to believe in my God because my God is within me. It is within you, and it is within everything that we see on a daily basis, right?
Okay, can I ask you which God do you believe in?
Oh, well, there is not just one God. We are all gods.
We're all gods. Okay, cool. So if we're all gods, that's basically no God at all.
I wouldn't say that, but I mean, if that's the way that you want to interpret it, sure.
Yeah. So, is this hat that I'm wearing, this really cool hat, is it a god too that I'm putting on my head?
Well, what it is made from is a god. Whatever material, the denim, the cotton, the denim,
cotton,
the cotton
is a god.
Everything that is alive is a god. Yeah.
Cotton is not alive.
No, it is a plant. It is a plant, and it produces cotton.
Well, yes, but I'm like, but it was picked, so therefore it's not alive, though.
No, but it once was. It once was, and we should have respect for that.
Okay.
So,
are you trolling me right now, Abe?
When I ask you to believe in God, I'm asking you to believe in yourself and believe in what is tangibly around you.
I'm like, ape shit. I'm like, please do not go ape shit on us. Like, are you trolling us? Are you dead ass?
No,
I really want to know. I'm not even joking. Like, are you dead
I want to know
ass?
if you're trolling us or if you dead ass.
No, yes, ma'am, I am serious.
Okay, now, please do not take this as shade. But it is the weekend and it's right before Easter, so I think it's a valid question. Are you under the influence this evening, man?
No, ma'am. I'm sober. I can't actually do any sort of substances. I have a medical condition.
All righty. Thank you so much for being here, Ape. Jesus Christ.
Okay, girl. I'm like, no shade to you, ape shit, but we just can't do nothing with that. We can't even debate that. Like, because what are we supposed to like? That is like debating yourself, bro. At that point.
Yeah, bro. Like there's no point. All right, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here in a second. I just want to go ahead and give y'all a quick shout out. I do appreciate y'all for being here, for dropping all those likes. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, big one on those numbers once more again. I appreciate y'all. Over on my channel, Volsy Thoughts, I appreciate y'all as well. We pumping those numbers up. We getting those numbers up, and I appreciate y'all for doing that there. Carbon. What happened to Carbon? Carbon, you requested, but then you dropped. What happened there?
Yeah, I didn't see, because before I could even request him like the acceptance request, like he
dropped.
Yeah, I'm wondering, maybe his connection, bro.
Yeah, probably.
By the way, I am enjoying my iPhone 7 that my sister got me. Shout out to my sister Carmen for getting me my iPhone 17.
All right, guys.
Bossy, thank you for having me. I just wanted to come up and try and give what's his face an opportunity to engage in what he was talking about. He didn't want to, so he can't talk to me ever again in life. So I'll talk to you guys later.
Hey, Christina.
Yeah,
Christina. Just a second. Would you be able to come to the cookout that's happening in June?
In June, it depends. What's the dates again for June?
June 12th to 14th.
And where is it again?
Central Florida.
Maybe.
Yeah, come through.
Maybe.
Yeah, because bars coming through. Yeah, bars coming, Libra coming. Serafina Simone also says she's gonna come through. So
I'm gonna check the Discord. I know you got
I may be coming. That's still up in the air, but I might be.
Yeah. So definitely come through if you can. Hey, yeah, it is near Polk County because it's gonna be in Orange. It's gonna be in Orange County. It's gonna be in Orlando area. So if you can make it, Christina, definitely come through.
I love that. Cool. Thank you.
Maybe I'll give me if I come down, I might give me a Florida name and come back.
Well, you're kind of in the matrix there. Okay, yeah, we couldn't hear you.
I was joking. I said maybe I'll find me a Southern man before I come back down.
Definitely. Hey, Glow, go ahead and come on up. No, let's talk about that.
But I would be petrified of that because Florida men are crazy. Like anything that goes wrong in this country is always a Florida man. Like think of like just the most crazy story you've heard of. I bet you it's a Florida man.
Yeah, it's a Florida man. Yeah. Let's wait to see if Glow can come on up. Hey, Glow, go ahead and come on up. We'll have the discussion. Don't worry, we're not gonna jump you. I've had a very chill live today, so it's basically just a conversation back and forth. So Glow, I sent you that request, so if you would like to, you can definitely have that conversation, Glow, and then I'll go ahead and get out of here when I'm the last one, since you're gonna be the last one. Yeah, we're just waiting for Glow to come up. I sent her the request.
Yeah, get it, Glow. Don't mind me. I was listening to Megan Thee Stallion and Glow Brother.
That's Megan is probably one of my wife's, like, that's probably her favorite rapper at the moment. Her and she been listening to Trim. She put me on to someone named Trim out of Texas, and she's dope.
Yeah, I love me some Meg and Flo Millie. I also love Doechii.
She's from my state, so of course I gotta support. Yeah, I mean, but just outside of that, she's very, very talented. I want her and
we need some girl rappers coming out of my city because we haven't had anyone representing Philly well to my liking it since Eve, and I want that.
Oh yeah, because Eve showed that Philly got rap girlies. You know what I mean? So, and not only that, I follow battle rap. So there's a lot of like battle rappers out of Philly who are women. And they're dope.
Yeah, but I want it like on a mainstream level, like Eve was. Like we need some mainstream Philly girlies.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Yeah, I mean, because we haven't had that in a while. Like the East Coast, ever since Atlanta took over the sound, the East Coast hasn't been there until Pop Smoke, but. Unfortunately, Pop Smoke was going to bring the New York sound back, but fortunately he passed away. You know what I mean? But if that were to happen, if he was still alive today, I think all that would have came back as well.
Yeah, like, but I want some. But I was specifically want some Black American girlies from Philly to represent.
Yeah, that'll be dope. All right, I don't know where Glow is. I think Glow probably left. I think she left. Hey, Glow, if you're still there, go ahead and comment. Let me know why you don't want to come up. So we can talk. But if you're not here anymore, then I guess you're not going to see this anyway. And I'll just go ahead and get out of here. But before I do get out of here, once again, thank y'all so much for watching over on my channel, the Volsy Thoughts channel. I appreciate y'all watching me there. Over on the Deconstruction Junction, once again, y'all amazing. Thank y'all so much for those numbers. Big one on those numbers over on the Deconstruction Junction. Y'all always get me to over 2,000, and that is great. All right. And over on the over on the Black Atheist Coalition, once again, I appreciate y'all from watching me there. And if you're watching me from Twitch, I appreciate you watching me from there as well.
No,
Tomorrow,
I still need to get on the Black Atheist Coalition page. Once we figure that out, y'all, I'll be making content over there as soon as I can, y'all. I know I've been saying that for the longest, but there's the technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's always technical difficulties. That's the only thing. But once again, y'all, I do appreciate it. I don't think Glow's here anymore, so we're just gonna go ahead and get out of here. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I appreciate y'all. So, Kay, go ahead and tell her to the people know where to follow you.
Yes, you can follow me on this page, KK Reloaded. 4. I also have a KK Reloaded 3. You can also follow me on my other page, Michaela that girl, which is and then hopefully you'll be able to see me on the Black Atheist Coalition page as soon as we kind of get through those technical difficulties on YouTube.
Definitely, y'all. And for me, y'all can find me here at Volsy Thoughts at everything. On YouTube, on Instagram, on Threads, on all that. You can go ahead and find me at Volsy Thoughts, and I appreciate y'all. I am gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. Once again, thank you for watching me on the Deconstruction Junction. Thank you for watching me over on Volsy Thoughts. Thank you for watching me over on the Black Atheist Coalition. Y'all have a good night. We are gonna get out of here. Remember, y'all, to stay safe. Remember, for all the young men out there, be secure, be affectionate, be wise, be flexible, and be thoughtful. Every man should be soft. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good night.